Okay, I'm out walking again today. Got my guide dog with me. Down on the riverbed again. So again, let's have a chat. Why don't we talk about core beliefs? How we get our core beliefs and how they affect our lives. So we establish our core beliefs as a result of a core wounding. Now, core wounding is something that has happened way back when you decided that as you were, you weren't good enough. And you had to change the way you acted, the way you behaved, in order to be accepted by your pack, which, are your parents, your caregivers, for your survival, because we need to be accepted by our pack. If we don't, we'll be kicked out of our pack and we won't survive. So it's really a survival thing. So what that can look like is if you were a noisy child or baby, crying, screaming all the time, and mum, dad, or your caregivers were always angry at you because you would never shut up. So you took on the belief that if I am quiet, I'm not heard and probably not seen as well, then I will be accepted by my pack. So from that moment on, you have created behaviours that keep you from being heard. So not speaking up for yourself, doing as you're told, whether you believed in what you were doing or not. So basically, starting from that core wounding, you start to live a life that's not authentic to how you were born. And we all have a core wounding, every single one of us. And probably 99.9% of the population are not living authentically. Now, this core wounding could actually be in utero. Our first language is energy, and when we're in the womb, we call this a womb wound, we can take on energetically what is going on with our parents. Perhaps mum was very anxious about this pregnancy. Perhaps she was worried financially how she would care for a child. Perhaps the child was a surprise. Perhaps she didn't even want to have a baby. Or perhaps her partner, her husband, didn't want to have a baby. So there could have been a lot of stress for the mother while you were in the womb. Now we take that energy on. So right then and there, we already have a core belief that perhaps we're not wanted. It's not safe to come into the world. I'm not good enough. So that's how we can establish our core wounds. Now there's lots of different core wounds. There's not just like one. And we can continue to establish core wounds as we go through, our childhood years especially. And from there we create the behaviours that create our life, pretty much. Oops, I tripped then. So if we believe that we shouldn't be seen or heard, that is the life that we are going to create. We are going to create a life where we will not be seen or heard in relationships, our partner might not ever listen to us, might not see us for who we are. In the workplace, you're not seen or heard. You just do your work. So you're always doing things that potentially keep you hidden away. You're there, people see you, physically see you, but they don't see you. And because that is our belief system, and what we perceive is the belief that is going to keep us safe, our unconscious is going to do everything to keep us safe. It is going to win over everything because its job is to keep you alive. So if your core belief is that I don't deserve to be seen or heard, your unconscious will create that life so that you are not seen and heard. And it doesn't matter what you consciously think. You might be thinking, oh yeah, but I am seen and heard. I speak up for myself, I do this and that. Well, you don't. Because unconsciously, remembering again, that runs our systems, the unconscious, keeps us breathing and our heart beating. That is the thing that keeps us alive. And if your unconscious believes that it is a threat to you, you know, remembering, going back to, we need to be accepted by our pack for our survival, then it will keep you so that you are not seen and heard. So that is just one example of a core belief. I mean, there's lots of core beliefs. It's not safe for me to be successful. It's not safe for me to have money. It's not safe for me to even be here. Everything ends in disaster. It's all my fault. You know, these are just some things, some of the core beliefs that we can have, and sometimes we can have all of them, depending, you know, how long we've been sitting in our trauma for. So it's really important to resolve that core wounding, which is your trauma, so that you can actually start living the life that you were born to live, not this life that you're living now, which is not authentic to you. We're not brought to this world to be a people pleaser or not be seen and heard or for everything to end in disaster. We are here as creators. We are here to create in this life. And our life is full of limitless potential and possibility. That is what we're born into. But when we have these core beliefs, they take over and we live a life that keeps us small, keeps us from living that life that we're meant to live, living a life that is to our full potential, which is really sad because most of us are living like that. So what do? Well, we need help with this. It's not something we can talk our way out of. Oh, listen to those ducks, they're so beautiful. This deep trauma, these core wounds, are not something that we can talk our way out of. So talk therapy, whilst it has its place, and I'm not saying that talk therapy is not good, but in this instance, talk therapy is not enough. You need deeper work. You need to get back to that core wounding and resolve it. Save that little girl or boy who thought that they weren't good enough, that as they were, they weren't enough. And in order to be safe and survive, they had to change who they were. So we have to go back and we have to save that younger you and let that younger you know that they're safe now and it's over and you're taking over now as the adult. Because when we're sitting in trauma, your mind and body actually believes that they are still in that situation. So you're sitting in a state of fight and flight all the time, because your mind and body still believes that there is a threat to your life, which there isn't. And consciously we know there isn't, but unconsciously, remembering the unconscious is what keeps us alive, still believes that there is a threat. So we have to resolve that threat and let the mind and body know that it's all over, that that was a past story that you took on when you were a child, or it might have even been handed to you from generations past, or handed down from societal beliefs. So that's what we need to do in order to resolve these woundings, is to go deep into our psyche and resolve it from that perspective. And of course we are using some talk therapy, but we're using a lot of other modalities to help you get through and resolve these beliefs. And the thing is, you're not broken. You don't need fixing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You're just stuck back then when you're a little girl, a little boy, when you're a baby, whenever this core wounding took place. You're just stuck back there in that time. So there's no fixing. There's nothing wrong with you. We just need to go in and save that little girl and boy and let them know that it's all okay now. That it's all resolved. They're safe. It's safe for them to be seen and heard. They don't have to people please anymore. It's safe to earn money. Not everything ends in disaster. Not everyone hurts you, depending on what your belief is. So that's my talk on core beliefs. If you have any questions or you'd like to talk about it anymore, reach out to me on my website, www.amorehealing.com.au, or reach out on Facebook under Amora Healing.